Okay, this video is a continuation of the previous security setting video. In this video, we're going to talk more about how you typically set up a brand new user with no existing user profile at all. And the way the system works typically is that um, when you create a new user for the very first time, like in this case, production is a user, right? So you click on new, like before, and put in the username, access level 50, password. I'm going to put in like 1, 1, okay? No equivalent because in this very specific case, production is a group user, not an individual user. But nevertheless, the first time around when you log in under this account, I will show you what happened. Um, by default, it has no user profile at all. It's blank because this is brand new. It hasn't tried to access anything yet. So I'll leave this user profile screen the way it is. I'm going to switch over to the second session of IBMS. I'm going to log out and go back in. I'm under production and see. I'll show you what happens. Okay, and once you see this, you'll be able to explain this, redo this video again uh, in the proper context. I'm going to go into production. 1. And I encourage you to experiment with this on your own. Nothing. There's no access to whatever. I'll just get out basically. No default, nothing. Okay, because it's a brand new account, and this is what oftentimes happens when an admin, our customer, an admin of our customer would do and create one and say, oh, there's nothing. Well, that's why we recommend 2 different sessions, because you can go back to your admin session and you press F5 to refresh, or I'm sorry, not F5. Just click on the refresh. The system automatically creates these default module for you. As a matter of fact, each time you try to access something, the system will register that, will create that module and put it on the list. And all you have to do is just refresh it. So that's what I did. I just click on refresh right here, and it shows the list right now. So we have the list. We just have to expand upon it. Let's say, well, I want to give access to the customer lookup screen. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on green here, and I'm going to give this production access to job order, because production need to do job order, and production needs to have access to parts. You taking off? Okay, sorry, we got interrupted a bit there, but okay, so we're going to give um, production group access to parts lookup, okay, and parts customer lookup, AP menu, shipping. No, not even shipping. That's it. Just those 3 for now. And I'm going to go ahead and go back in. But you notice each time I have to go back in just to refresh the security profile. Once you're in, you don't have access to it. Tab is okay, right? Because tabs you don't need, because it's like you have to go in for it the first time to see the main menu at the top menu. Okay, so production. So now we expect to have the modules that we specify in here. Before you didn't have these modules, now you do. Okay, and if you look at this right here, that's what we did. We gave access to 3 modules. Next, I'm going to go into customer. Just because I give them production group access to customer doesn't mean that you can change or add a new one or remove. Okay, thanks. Yeah, delete or locate, and I'll explain more about these particular settings later. Filter and so forth. Okay, we do have KBs on these options, so you're welcome to look up the KB, the knowledge base, for the functionality of these options. So now, if I click on edit, it won't let them. If I click on new, or delete or locate, the idea is you have to click on these things in order for the system to refresh. If I refresh this now, you will see the list will be expanded to include customer, new, customer, edit, customer, delete. You see? The key point there is you have to click on refresh in order for the module to show up on the list. Nothing. That's right. You need to also have the user, the account that you're trying to set up, attempt to access the task or the menu option. That means you have to click on edit, click on new. But now if I click on it, then let me grant access to edit, for example, and new, then production will be able to, well, I won't say new. Production will be able to modify but not necessarily add a new customer, okay? So now I can certainly edit the customer. But by default, there's no financial access. Okay? What? These tabs? Yes. Which one? No, not the financial section. No, not the financial section. Just the basic contact information. Okay? Huh? Yeah, because I gave him access to edit. So it's a info at accuratemetal.com. So I can change that, save it, and we're back. Now there's another security module ID called read only, like customer read only, pod read only, job read only. And if I set to read only, it has a high priority. That means the person cannot edit. If I deny this, let's say don't allow the person to edit, but allow the person to read the record, read only. What it means is that the person can edit, can go into edit, look at it, but read only. View, but cannot change. You understand? You can go back to this portion of the video and be able to see this. Okay? Be able to recognize that. In fact, when you, oh, sorry, I double click on the email, it's open up the email automatically with that person's name filled in. Isn't that cool? That's cool. Okay, but the fact is, if you look at this status, it says read only. That's what it means. This record is only view read only, cannot change, which is good, useful sometimes. You know, if you want one person to be able to see the contact, the ship to, notes, but not necessarily being able to change anything in there. And that's what the read only option provide. That option provides the ability to control editing, record editing. Should be, yes, yeah, major one like customer parts, you know. But that's what, if you see read only, that's what it's for. Okay, cool, right? So that's pretty much covers all the all aspects of the securities settings. Now, once you define the profile for production, so this is the profile for production user. Let's go ahead and create a new one called, let's say, I'm going to create Jim, access level 50, and his password is J, equivalent of production. Now, the beauty is that once you set up production profile, then you don't have to do it for Jim because it's already been set up. I don't know why it's picky about that. I'm not sure. I have to look. So here we have a brand new user called Jim, right? And he has the equivalent of production. Let me go log out and log back in this Jim. You can expect to see that Jim would have these built-in access already because we already gave access to production profile, and Jim is the equivalent under that group. So you don't have to do any work. You don't have to reconfigure Jim's account. Follow me? Yes? So if I exit out now and I go back in and run this, Okay, it's running. And if I log in as Jim, sure enough, and I didn't have to do anything to Jim's account. If I have a new hire, and let's see, I'm gonna add a new one. Call, let's see, Nancy. Again, under production, password. How many users? Oh, no, you cannot have the same name in the system. Of course, it has to be unique. And if I assign Nancy to production, look, if I log in as Nancy, I'll be get in without having to set up. So have a number of people under that production. Great. The beauty is that you only need to maintain one profile, and if you need to change something, you go to production, do it, and everybody under that group would automatically assume to have that security access. Cool, right? So that's the. You can also do another thing, neat trick about this is that, for example, Nancy, just because she's under production account, you can make exception for her. You can say for Nancy, she's under production, but she has additional access just because she's a group leader. Okay, and to do that, you would log in under Nancy. Let me see. I think you get this at the end of this video. You get it. Be able to go back in and. Hmm? For the this is rare, but the option is there for you to do it, and that is to go into under Nancy. She has the basic built in, but I want to give her. We need to be able to give her the option to um, add a new one, and let's say a how about shipping menu? I can manually type in shipping order menu, okay, and access level of 99, okay, and I'm gonna say okay. That means it's green now. You see how it goes green from no access to green or green shipping order. Well, 99 means access and 0 means no access. Okay, that's what it means in terms of. Do you see how it goes from 0 to 99? And yellow being non-99, either 0, 99, or non-99. But that's really it translates into the color code red, yellow, and green. Okay, so now as Nancy, I'm going to try it again. In the meantime, I'm just going to make sure that I have the right module ID. Shipping order menu, right. Even though the production group doesn't have access to shipping order menu, Nancy should. Oops, I lied. Maybe, did I? I thought I gave her green. Sorry. Yeah, you can look it up. Yeah, you can look it up. Oh, that's some kind of error. Didn't like that. You probably have to compress this a little bit more, but compress the video after shipping. Okay, and only Nancy would have this. If you log in under Jim, he would not have access because under Jim profile, he doesn't have any exception, any additional things pertaining uniquely to his profile. He's still assuming the profile from production. Clear? So if I to illustrate that point, I'm going to go out and log back in as Jim, and you will see that Jim would have just the default production profile. I want to be able to play this video over and over again. Or you guys can go and watch it afterwards. Jim login password, by the way, is number 2. So there you go. See? Perfectly illustrated point. I could easily log in another session under Nancy and be able to show you that she has access to shipping, but Jim doesn't. Or anyone else under production for that matter would not have access to shipping. Okay, that concludes this portion of the video on security.